Boom. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Brush, episode 9. Great week. Started off nice and sunny, but back to normal. I have a bit of a pink eye. I got some compound in it today, so in case you're wondering. We have Christian Manhard on episode 9, Moose Painting. He's better known as. I first met Christian 2024 at the Nick Slavik retreat when I went over to Minnesota. So, I met loads of amazing people at the retreat, but myself and Christian clicked because I have Paintworks NI Academy, and I got speaking to Christian about his new idea, his new business he was creating, which was the Moose Method class, which is class, by the way, because I've been there. I went over to the first class he had in New Hampshire, North Conway. It was about minus 25. If you're on my Facebook, you would have seen me running, doing a 5K with icicles on my beard, wondering why I was the only guy out. No sense, but what a beautiful trip. I am all about learning. I went over to learn about 2K water-based kitchen refinishing systems after speaking with Christian at the retreat. He got me pumped. I had been using solvents, and I said, look, I'd love to come over to your first class. And that's where we sort of built our relationship. He's been an absolute star. He's helped me. He's always there on the other side of the phone, or messages, and always there to be a good guide and keep you on the right track. So let's get him on. Let me see. Boom.
How's it going? You forgot to mention, though, that you did also do some skiing out there for what, like the first time in how long? And you crushed it.
I think it was 18 years.
Yeah.
I went out there with a family for Christmas, and I'd done the old skiing lessons, the old triangle and how to stop. And whenever you yourself and Jessica invited us to the skiing, I was pretty nervous, but yeah, it worked out okay. I didn't do too bad apart from the massive fall. And I think
at least it was on camera.
I think everybody stopped. I was like, is he okay? So how's it going?
Going good. I'm excited for this. I basically, as we found out earlier, I thought it was going on at 2. That was the test point. So after that, decided to go down, continue. My wife Jess and I just started a puzzle last week, and it's been nice. Haven't done one in years. It's a nice tune out from everything and just chill. So that's kind of what my brain was doing moving into this, is just some puzzling.
Chilling out.
Chilling out.
So yeah, look, if you want to maybe introduce yourself for those that maybe don't know you, Christian, your business, where you're based, because you're certainly not from here. So
Nope. I might look it. I got the hair, and I could fit right in. But my name's Christian Manhard. I'm the owner operator of Moose Painting. This is my, I think 16th or 17th year in business. It's been an evolution of just me trying to figure out what I don't like doing. Or I should say a long time of figuring out what I don't like doing to niche down to what I do really like doing. I've been very active on social media from the very start of my business because I had a partner for 8 years. We grew that business to I should say we had 4 employees. We did lots of HOAs. You finish one building, look to the right, doing the exact same thing, just rinse and repeat. After 8 years of doing that, which I should say the first couple of years was a bit of a struggle. We just door knocked, didn't know how to paint. Just his dad gave us some ladders and some paintbrushes and said, go get some work. So we drove around the woods of New Hampshire, just knocking on doors, asking people if they want their house painted. And we basically just learned by doing, because unlike over there isn't any schooling for this. You just kind of either have to work for someone or be okay with falling on your face over and over and over until you get something right.
Fall forward. Fall forward.
Yeah, failing up, just failing up continuously, which is still a key part of the business now, is just continuously testing stuff, failing up. But yeah, so did that moose painting. I broke off and started moose painting in 2016 from my partner, who's still a really good friend. I'd refer him all the time for the few exteriors that still exterior estimate requests that still come in. But I really wanted to focus more on just the interior, the finer finishes. I've always loved the nitty gritty details of things, like how perfect can I make something look? So that was when that journey started, and didn't have a website or anything. So just started posting on Instagram. At the time, it was just photos, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little later too. But basically, moose painting, I went from log cabin restoration, lead restoration, had a van, a truck, a trailer. At one point had 8 people working for me. Kind of was working myself out of the brush, which was really stressful, and I really didn't like it because I love what I do. So I ended up slowly scaling back, niching down. Then 5 years ago, I completely stopped. I think it was 4 years ago, stopped doing exterior work and just focused on interior painting and kitchen cabinets as my main focus. And now 95% of my painting work is just kitchen cabinet refinishing. And that's a long-winded spark notes.
So what happened? I mean, you were in a partnership with your best friend. You working away. Did something happen that you just sort of decided, you know what, I might just get indoors, or did you just have enough of the weather? Like, what was it that made that mindset shift of, do you know what, maybe I don't want 8 people working for me. Maybe I just want to start scaling back to maybe just me. Was that just what you decided, or did something happen?
So, I mean, as like my old partner and I, it's like I said, we're still really good friends. We banter and shoot the shit all the time. But with that, it was more of just the model, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we would show up. It wasn't any sort of painter's whites, anything like that. It was basically just a bunch of guys and some vans come paint your house. And in my area, no one at the time was like just in full painter's whites. There wasn't really like a professional looking business.
Yeah.
Which is something that I value a lot, is like, if I talk to my wife and business partner Jess about this all the time. There are plenty of people around that I know do good work, but just off like a bias, I'm like, I wouldn't want them working in or around my house. Like, I know they're great people, but just like the presentation is key. So that's something that's just been like a huge focus for Moose Painting, is when I had my guys, I bought them new pants, supplied them new shirts, like whenever they just got dirty, whenever it started to look like, hey, this isn't a very professional. And that's kind of the model. I hired everyone green, like so green, like so many people just didn't know how to paint, but they were good humans. And my like model for that at that time in my business was, I don't care if you guys make mistakes. We purposely made mistakes, obviously, when I trained them. As you know from coming to the class, that's one of my favorite things to do, is like, let's purposely make mistakes and know how to fix it.
Yeah, let's throw a screwdriver at a door. Let's wreck the place.
So I trained them all, funny enough, on we had just bought another rental property at the time, and I was like, okay, just hired on 4 new guys, all green. It was still when I was doing exterior, and I was like, let's do this garage. So I had each one of them. I walked them through the process, showed them what to do, but then I each had them just go at it, do one side each, and then at the end of it, it was I had them call themselves out on what didn't look good, what didn't look right.
Yeah.
So then they can visually see it and go through that instead of me being like, oh, no, like fix that. I always find like when the whole thing's done, you really see why each process is so important for that. And if you can see it yourself, like you remember it kind of thing. So it kind of just, sorry, went off. We're going to be lots of tangents on this.
Oh yeah. 100%.
As far as like what, and what got me niching down is I always like to challenge myself and like do something new. So it was always like, hey, there's good money here. Let's figure out the systems for that. Do that for a while. Realize I absolutely hate doing that and it's miserable, then move on to the other thing. So it's just a continuous like evolution of learning and challenging myself. I mean, we did lead restoration jobs in the middle of summer, and I'm like, okay, it's good money, but it's miserable when you're out there in a Tyvek suit and a full face respirator and you're just sweating through everything. And I'm like, all right, so maybe we do that in the fall. And where I am in New Hampshire, the weather is just awful. So you could have, and I think that was one of the biggest stressors when I did have people too, was okay, needing those interior jobs as like backups. Like, okay, it's going to rain for the next 3 days. I still have to keep everyone busy. Let's go do some interior, but it's got to be like quick on call the client the morning of, which throughout this whole process, I realized just the client communication and expectations and experience is key. Absolutely key. God, sorry, I just went off on one. What was the initial question again?
I was just saying, what was there something that happened that you were just like, no, do you know what? I'm gonna move into interior work and kitchens, or was it just a slow transitional thing? The more you were doing it, then suddenly you were just fully booked up doing, interiors and kitchen refinishing. Was there anything that major that made you say, "Do you know what? I'm sort of done doing that now," or was it literally just trial and error, trial and error, and then you just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just stick the interior, fine finish works now, and just gradually go down to myself.
Yeah. So I guess I just like to make short stories long, but yeah, it was just the evolution of going through all these different parts of my business. Just trying a bunch of different things, figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like. And it was a combination between the weather. Everyone does exterior painting. So yes, there's a certain cap on prices. You can't really, yes, you can do a phenomenal job and the clients are there to pay for the phenomenal job. But if you have 20 people bidding the same project, then you're either dropping your prices or you're going for other work. So I think I just was lots of tiny little things that then led into me just focusing on interior. And when I made the call to going fully interior, it was one of those things where it was hard to say no to exterior work when I wasn't sure what interior projects or kitchen cabinet projects were coming up. But I found that even though it was hard, it's like every no I said to an exterior job just kind of helped. I don't know whether it's like, I love the book, The Alchemist. It's like, follow your personal legend. Life's always trying to help you out. So I'm a strong believer in like the no's lead to better yeses.
Excellent.
Which is really hard. It's very, very difficult, but I kind of I'm a jump out of the plane and build my parachute on the way down kind of person. Like, sure, first time I'll hit the ground really, really hard, but I'll learn how to build it faster. And each time I get better and better. So with that being said, like I started getting more just very consistent interior work throughout the summer. and kitchen cabinets, which was very nice because here it's like you didn't have to worry about the weather. I would go into the paint store. Everyone's stressed that it's raining for the week. I'm like, no, actually, like I'm perfectly busy and perfectly on track. So, I mean, that did take about a year. And when I fully switched or made the commitment, I deleted all my exterior photos off my website, did all of that. I still have plenty on my social media pages because, well, I love the videos, and every time it pops up, it's like, oh yeah, maybe if like the perfect ranch style house with minimal prep comes up for like a client that I really like, maybe I'll take that on. But no, it was kind of that. And then at the perfect time, it was, my wife and I had bought another just rental unit for ourselves, which actually converted the barn into my shop space, which made things a lot easier, which you were at. It's absolutely nothing fancy, but it's perfect for me. It makes me happy to go in there, makes me happy to do my work, makes me happy to just mess around with products. And I think when I made the full commitment to interior and kitchen cabinets and having that place, it was always, let's bring these products to their breaking point. Let's test them out over and over and over so that I have the confidence that when I go to a client and I'm like, hey, like, I know this product works amazing. Like, take a 5-way to it, hit it with a hammer. Like, you'll be super impressed.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was as when you came for the very first Moose Method class, that was a vital part of what I wanted. Like, I had a loose, like, framework for the class. Like, I knew what needed to be done. I knew what I wanted to teach. But if you guys asked a question, let's go off on that tangent and see what happens. Like,
I think for anyone listening, you know, did you have a spray shop before you started kitchens? Were you doing the kitchens in the customers' houses and then sort of transitioned and said, you know what, I'm gonna start and make my own unit and start taking the doors away? Or can we talk about that a wee bit in terms of, because I'm thinking for anybody looking at the kitchen refinishing, which is what you do now, it's specialize in it as such, you know, I get a lot of questions about people need to get a spray shop, and I'm like, well, do you? You know, is it
no.
100% necessary? And then it's to need a big spray booth, a big commercial style automotive spray shop, as you see all the time. And I'm like, well, no. I mean, I think the best place to start is, if you can, make a makeshift maybe spray shop if you've got some sort of garage or a shed, or if you can do it in the customer's house, brilliant. But the biggest thing for me was obviously watching your videos for so long and then coming over to do the Moose Method class. It's, you know, it's so well designed, you know, it's perfect for a one-man show. And it's amazing how little you actually need to be able to produce something awesome, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as the question of, do you need a shop? Do you need a space? No, you can do this in the client's home. And what that really comes down to is really good communication and expectations with the clients. Like, you go in, depending on, when I first started doing them, it was very much just like, yes, the bin shellac or oil primer, emerald urethane, Benmore Advance, and I would do them in the client's home and I would hang them. I would basically contain the kitchen and work in that little space and just be able to work through that whole process in a week, get everything installed and get out. So you can do it that way very, very, very easily. It just, the biggest thing with kitchen cabinet refinishing is because it is the heart of someone's home. It's what they use most often. So if you can communicate clearly what's going to be happening so they know and aren't expecting you to be in and out there in 2 days. I always like to tell clients I'll take longer than it actually does, just to give myself space, set it clear expectations for them, and then I usually wrap up early unless something awful goes wrong, which does happen. But you can, I mean, I've done it with a 10 by 10 $50 pop-up tent when I lived in the middle of the woods in a cabin. I popped that thing up, put it on a tarp, wrapped it with plastic, and so I had some sort of containment and not just pine needles and all this stuff, the elements blowing into my finish, with a box fan and just. I actually grabbed some. My friend owned a restaurant, and I grabbed an old pizza tray stand for a rack, so I had all the slots in there. And that worked for a very long time, and it built my confidence, because it really is, if you can give a beautiful finish in environments in which you can create and control anywhere. It could be someone's garage, it could be a room, like a living room, that's like, hey, since this kit is an open kitchen attached to the living room, I'm going to take over this section of the house, and everything's going to be cleaned, contained. They're not going to be able to smell anything. All the overspray, the dust is just getting sucked out the house. Which, with like kitchen cabinets and stuff like that, it's a lot of prep. Yeah, I mean, I should say it's 85% prep and actually 15% spraying for the most part, maybe even 90% prep and 10% spraying. You don't spray that long, but you're creating a lot of dust. When you do spray, you want to be able to contain that overspray, these odors, the dust, everything in between. So if you can do a phenomenal prep job and make the client walk in and or see that and be like, oh, they haven't even started painting yet, and it already looks like a masterpiece just from how pretty the tape looks and the plastic.
Real painters don't use tape, though.
No, just cutting in those lines with the sprayer,
funny
easy
you talk about
peasy,
pop-up tents.
easy peasy.
The guy I was talking to a guy this week, and he was saying he was thinking of buying an inflatable spray booth and putting it outside the customers in the customer's garden and creating this inflatable spray shop in the garden. And I said, in theory, that sounds awesome. I says, until a gust of wind comes, or something happens and he comes back out and it's flipped over.
Cinder blocks will hold it down just fine.
And then I says, and somebody puts a knife through it or something, or a kiddo or something pierces it, and it's just deflating and he's in the middle of spraying, And but like, it's amazing what you can come up with. I mean, I started out when I was doing kitchens. My uncle gave me this wee tiny section of his shed, and I was in there for about 2 years, and I learned everything. I learned what I needed. I learned that the benches I was working on were too low. I needed to save my back. I needed my better extraction. I was able to sort of, through time, work out exactly what way I needed my new spray shop to be, and I was just very lucky. I got my father-in-law has a unit just about 5 minutes from where I live, and this unit come up. There was holes in the roof. It was just horrendous looking, and it was just like Christmas had come, because I was like, I could see it, I could visualize everything. I planned it all out, and then bang, got to work, and we built our own spray built our own dry room or spray booth. I couldn't even think of the name. Their spray booth. We got the tables built up. We made our own racks from wardrobe bars and 2x4, and they're still going strong. And away we went. And like, I think now, like I get to work in there's a place I use for the taster events, and you've got the big car, the big proper spray booth, oven, you name it, and it's just a complete luxury. But it wouldn't work. It doesn't actually work for what I do, in my area, in terms of, because I use the workshop for wallpapering. I use it for all different types of sort of courses now, and it is our active sort of, it's our active unit. We're working it all the time. So it's good to have seen both, what I had before, what I have now, and what I thought I needed, which was, at the very start, I thought I needed a professional spray booth at 30, 40,000 pounds.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't, and you don't. As long as you say, as long as you're getting a really good finish, you're controlling all that contamination, the dust, the fumes, you name it, you're 100%,
And I mean, the coatings have also just gotten so friendly. Like they're very user friendly coatings now compared to like the 2K lacquers or anything like solvent based, which I know you guys are still like you're using a lot of over there. I know water based, and that's why you came to the classes like introduced. But it is. I had to do a touch up with a 2-part lacquer a while ago, and it reminded me how much I hated this stuff. Like it's the odor, the stuff. It used to be such a big barrier to entry for kitchen cabinet refinishing because you needed an air assisted airless or like very good like distributors for these really industrial wood coatings. And
Yeah.
now it's becoming very more within the past 7 years, I would say but 7 years, the water-based coatings have gotten so good. It's
Yeah.
insane. So it's
Yeah.
like you can spray something with an air assisted airless, an HVLP, or an airless, all using the same coating, and you'll get the exact same results. As long as you're prepping, like do the proper prep, apply the wet mills. Like it is one of those things that it is super intimidating. And what comes down to is a lot of the confidence. Like, yes, you can do this in clients' homes. And I do think the confidence comes from you. For me, it came from trial and error in messing up and learning how to fix all those mistakes. I was actually
Yeah.
I went to the gym this morning and I was driving home and I was thinking about the Moose Method classes. And I always like to talk about, it's like, yeah, this is just from the past, like however long I've been in business. Like this is just all those mistakes, whether I learned them doing exteriors, interiors, kitchen cabinets, all those mistakes and mess ups built into one thing. Like it is everything that's just like you want to, I should say, like the things that you do on projects that you want to try but can't because they're like
Yeah.
and or you've tried them and you've lost money or lost labor. Like I was just off the top of my head thinking about over the course of my kitchen cabinet projects, like it's been a solid, I would say 30 to 40 grand investment of
Yeah.
mistakes that I've made. Mess ups that's usually just mostly labor, yes, materials and stuff. But over the course of the years I've been doing this, it's just been that's an education. That's a college degree of mess ups that you're paying for, but in your business. So it's
Yeah.
wild to think that it's like, yes, it's a mess up if you don't learn from it. If you learn from it, it is an education.
Oh, absolutely. In terms of pricing, when you first started getting into kitchen refinishing, did you go in doing kitchens like I did and doing them pretty much for free because you completely underpriced yourself and didn't really know what was in it? Or, did you get your pricing pretty good right off from the
Oh,
starting line?
God, no. Where I started, I was doing, I think the first kitchen I ever did was maybe $1,700.
Yeah.
Which at this point, it's like that barely covers materials for the most
Yeah.
part. And that first one was terrifying. But it's like I'll throw myself in the shit and figure out how to do this. And the client was stoked. It was very, very long days. I was doing everything on site at the
Yeah.
time because I didn't have my space. And yeah, but after that, I started to, yes, you dial it in, you go up a little more. It's like, okay, yes, I barely made money on this. I still want to practice because that was still an awful experience. Like the first one was like, yes, I learned a lot, but I still like, when you're trying to sleep and you just like wake up in the middle of the night with like a nightmare of something that's happened so long ago.
Why
That's
did I
kind of
take
what
this
it
job
was.
on?
Yeah, exactly. And I did that for just slowly bumping up the price as I got more comfortable and more confident because the price comes like, yes, the quality of work, the expectations you set with the client, and your confidence of what you can sell these projects for. So I mean, for like my kitchen cabinet projects now, I just sent down an estimate a little bit before, and the client asked me, he's like, hey, yeah, I need my kitchen cabinets refinished. I was like, great. How'd you hear from me? There's a great way of when you start to build that referral base of where the estimates are coming from, that you know where their price points are anchored.
Yeah.
And this one came from social media. So I basically wanted to make it very clear that usually my kitchen cabinet refinishing like starts at a baseline at around like 9 to 10,000, and then depending on the size of the kitchen goes up from there, because I like to clarify with the client beforehand to make sure that we're on the same page. If they're thinking this is going to be a $3,000 job or $4,000 job when they have a, I don't know, a 50, 60, $70,000 kitchen, like
Yeah.
it's just, you got to make sure that that aligns, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, it's sort of you start to slowly but surely know what you're worth and sort of, what you can achieve. And, I think when you start out, there's this ceiling that you think that that's it, that's the ceiling until you actually, the more and more you do it, you start building up the confidence that no, the ceiling can go a wee bit higher, and you start
It
getting
can
that.
always go higher.
Yeah, and you start thinking, do you know what? Hold on a wee second. That money, that what I'm charging just isn't cutting it. So we got to climb that ladder a bit. But I think for me, it was just I remember the first kitchen I done, and I done it in oil based paint. So it was like I sprayed it up, and my uncle was like, he had been making kitchens, and he said like, "Why are you using that paint? Like that's not a good idea." And I was like, "Don't worry, trust me on this one." Sprayed it up. It must have took 2 weeks for one side to dry, and I mean the smell was just horrendous. And then we went, no, that's not going to work. And then I moved to acrylics, and they were really nice to spray, but they were not durable enough for me. And then I got introduced to acid cat lacquer or acid cat paints, solvents, which was just a game changer because it just dried so fast. But I mean, you're crying, the stuff. And I still do it on the courses where I'll open up water. Well, we're using it's water-based kitchen course now. But I'll always spray some PU, some ACs, and the guys are just like, whoa, there's no way you were spraying this in people's houses. And I was like, yeah, I did, it was all contained.
You're like,
Everything
I
was,
just like I like the high from it. I'm getting to work and get my fix and
so it
just
was just
chasing
like,
that dragon.
there's definitely a better way, but I was so keen to get into water based and seeing the likes of guys in the across the water in England and in the US and different things. But whenever you're stuck in one way, it's quite hard to get out of it. When you're used to something, you're used to a product, how it performs, and then you're just wanting to make sure that you can keep that durability. You want to be able to keep the speed, drying times. And then whenever obviously we met at the retreat and we had a good conversation, you were just like, no, I mean, water-based dries fast, super durable. You gotta get onto it. And then yeah, so obviously when I came home and you had started the class, and I thought, right, well, let's go find out. And I think since I've started the courses here in water based, I am hearing that a lot more now too, which is it as fast? Is it as durable? It's being compared to solvent, and that's not really fair because it's not solvent, it's water based, and it's completely different. For me now, it's very much, your temperature. There is a wee bit more to water based. But in terms of the biggest sort of things that I think most people are worried about here when I speak to guys that are stuck on solvents is, what's it like to sand? Can I get in and out in a day? Can I, is it easy to spray? What's the drying time? So, what do you think is the key things that is super important when moving to water based, like realistic expectations in terms of
So
that?
I mean, first off, the with water base, you're applying it at a thicker wet mill base. for the most part. Like the things with the solvents, like the viscosity is so thin that yes, you do need the air assisted airless or the HVLP to atomize it fine enough, because it's just a bunch of raindrops on a coating. You need something that is atomizing that coating fast enough, and so that all those little specks can connect and level out before it dries, which is just a big thing. So it happens with water-based coatings too, but you don't need all the super expensive sprayers. Like a while ago, I did a kitchen cabinet project with just a $200 airless sprayer I bought at Lowe's, and I swapped out the tips. But it was like, it's one of those things where it's more user friendly. It's not going to kill you. I mean, yes, with the you still have to wear PPE and be safe and all that fun stuff. But the odor doesn't linger. Like since it's a chemical reaction with the water-based 2Ks and stuff, dries super fast, sandable. What I love about it, and I mean, for many years, I loved certain water-based coatings. Like I'd love a top coat of a certain company, then a primer coat of another. But I am one of those sticklers. I like using the same system. I don't like swapping one primer, then another top coat. I do believe these, and from visiting a lot of the facilities, it's they are designed for each other. You can swap them out.
Yeah.
But if you can stick with what they designed for their primer and their top coat, you're just getting the exact finish that you're meant to get. Yeah. And a lot of, I mean, I would say as far as the water base, it's I mean, this, I love how it sands to a powder, is super durable. You can actually achieve a good build. So when it comes down to needing to fill imperfections and all that stuff, you're filling a lot less, especially if you use a high build primer. So that's taking it off. If you do want to just spray another coat of primer, you can use that as build in and of itself. Just because it's there's so many uses for it. And I mean, for me, I do 2 coats of primer and 1 top coat.
Yeah.
That is the system, because by the time I'm done sanding that second coat of primer, I want that to look and feel how finish coat is. So then I apply the top coat, which is basically just the icing on the cake, the nice shell. It adds a chemical resistance, more durability, and you're applying that. If you apply it at the right wet mill base and you can spray and get the appropriate coverage, that's all you need. Top coats aren't meant to be sanded. That's not what they're designed for. They're designed for durability and just everything that gives a beautiful finish. If you need to add another coat, you can add another primer coat and sand that down. I'll go, unless it's a really, really weird color that I might need to, or didn't get the coverage on, then I'll sand down and shoot another top coat. But I find the system's just so much faster, and you can manipulate them a lot more. You can really manipulate these water-based coatings to what works best for you. Your spray style, your your rhythm, your heavy hand, your light hand, how close you like to spray stuff. It's a lot more forgiving. And I think it builds confidence a lot faster. Cause I mean, even if you hop on all these Facebook pages, kitchen cabinet finishing, all that stuff, there's still a bunch of those lacquer jockeys in there. That's just yep, I'm going to die on this horse. And I'm that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're so stuck in your ways of not trying something new, it's okay, yes, everything used to need to be hand sanded, and then they came out with powered sanders.
Yeah. I think
collection.
I think even what I've noticed is you need airflow. That's a big thing. You've got the heat, because a couple of guys started using it and they had the heaters on, the infrareds, and it wasn't drying as quick or as well. And then I said, did you have airflow on? No airflow. And I was like, no, you need airflow. You need to be getting that,
light air movement, some light air movement to really keep that that moving. You don't want too much airflow, but you do want some airflow.
It's essential, and the difference is huge, especially with the products I've been using over here. Obviously, we were using Centurion, which is unreal. It's not. I don't think it's here yet or in the UK or anything, but like it was really nice to use. But in terms of the kitchens, I mean, you'd never any intentions of scaling, getting more guys, building a team, huge workshop. You see now in a world where it's 10x, it's go big or go home, it's go this, it's get a huge unit, get, vans. You stuck to just yourself and your cave, which is just class. But why was that? I mean, you'd never had any intentions to grow or not grow, but scale, I suppose is the right word.
No, I mean, as far as growing, like at this point in my business, I have no intention of it. I love
No.
the work that I do. I love it's very systematized. I know exactly how long these projects are going to take me. I enjoy it, and it's. I like to think about it as I use the painting business as a vessel for my other businesses, because it's like my wife and I have a few other businesses that we love to do, and if yes, potentially, who knows, in 5 years, maybe I do decide to scale or grow. It's never out of the question. But it is just at this point in my life, in my business, my priorities, I love just having it be me.
Yeah.
I mean, before we even hopped on this, like I was able to, because I was planning, I thought this was at 2, so I just checked out early, got to check some messages. And I mean, I was even just chatting with previous Moose Method attendees about projects they were on, questions that they had, going over all that stuff. I've been chatting with a bunch of the people that are coming to the next class, which I'm really excited about, because as you know, like, I mean, we had met before, obviously, at the Slavik retreat, and we just like vibed, and like, but for my classes and stuff, it's very personal. Like, I want to make it like niche that people feel comfortable like reaching out. So as far as the painting business, it is perfect for me, exactly the way that is right now. That doesn't mean in a couple of years I might change. Like, if I get a bigger shop, maybe I have companies from like around New England that have reached out wanting to drop stuff off at my shop, and I'm like, you don't understand. It's a converted barn. Like, I can't take an entire kitchen or multiple kitchen sets at once. So if in a couple of years and I get a bigger shop, maybe I do. Maybe I bring on 2 finishers and have like a just pre-finishing shop. But at this point, it's not my intention. I love the kitchen cabinet projects that I do at the price point that I do them. And then it allows me to not only do these classes or focus on the other businesses, like it really does. It's a vessel to keep me going when all these other avenues that I really want to focus on and grow.
Yeah, I just think it's cool because, um, like I said, you see a lot of guys rush into scaling, getting more guys, girls, thinking they need to be successful or to make loads of money. You need huge teams. I fell victim to that too. That was me at the very start. It was like, need a big crew, need to do this, need multiple vans. But I suppose anyone looking in, it's, is having a really good business, making great money, working for themselves, it's okay. I think we sort of battle with it sometimes, you sort of think, well, do I need to go bigger or do I need to? But I think
But it's what's told. Like, it's what
yeah,
you're told that you have to do to be a successful business. I mean,
yeah,
that was the only reason earlier on that I wanted to, when I first like broke off from my partner and became Moose Painting, that yes, I want to get more people, more vans, because all the old timey contractors or people that I knew that were successful in the area, that's what they were doing.
yeah,
They were just like, this is the only way to have a successful business, which
yeah.
there are so many different models that you can base your business off. I mean, from the going to the PCA to just like going to all of these amazing group meetups, you'll meet yes, technically we all have painting businesses, but they are so vastly different.
Yeah.
And if you're not exposed to that, you don't know what the other options are.
Yeah. I think even sort of I think being able to know and that you're enjoying it, and I think that's the biggest thing. So if you're enjoying what you do, you have freedom to be able to do the stuff you love, which is maybe sports or going for a walk with your partner or going on a break, and having that sort of freedom to, that sort of balance, work-life balance we all talk about. But I think for people, it's being able to create the life that you want, and what we do and say yes to dictates that life. So whenever you keep saying yes to more and more jobs, more work, you're sort of saying no to that work-life balance we all talk about. So it's being able to be content, I suppose, with what you're doing, the amount of work you're taking on, the money you're making, to give you that freedom, that downtime, to be happy, enjoy life. You seem to. Do you have a good work-life balance? Because it seems to be you're flat out working, busy kitchens. You're out in the one wheeler. You're out having making memories, fun times, and how do you balance everything, especially with a huge social media business? All your community, and like you just said there a couple of minutes ago, you're straight on helping others, answering their questions, past attendees. How do you do without running, stressing yourself too thin?
Oh God, I mean, I stress myself out every single day, like just for, but it really, because there's always things to do. There's always estimates to go get out, jobs to look at, classes to plan, just everyday stuff that stresses you out. And it's for me, it's like I guess it depends on the time. Sometimes I'm really good at it. Sometimes I just suck at it and I burn myself out, and then I just want to
Yeah.
lay face down on my carpet for like 3 days. So there's, but most I will say I am like I've gotten very good at it, and it's more about just making the time to do the stuff that fills my cup, like as me as like a human, like with the things that I like to do. If
Yeah.
I don't take the time to go to the gym, to maybe go like play 9 holes on like a or like golf or something like at some point during the week, or snowboard, or do something that like makes me feel like me, it is very hard for me to do everything else. So
Yeah.
I notice myself when I am, yes, just like working straight out. I mean, this past week I haven't been doing the best job of that, because I
Yeah.
just did a soft announcement of like the next Moose Method class. So it's been very much like, yes, going through all the applicants, sending videos, hopping on phone calls, doing that, which yes, I do it based around because all different time zones all over the country. Like I do want to connect with these people because they've taken the time to submit their application. So
Yeah.
I haven't done a good job this week. I went to the gym for the first time this morning. Usually I go 5 days in a row, just to burn off some energy.
Yeah.
But it's I should say, with the burnout, if it's something that excites me and like I really, really am excited to do, I don't burn out that much. If it's something where I'm stressing myself out about the little stuff, the easiest thing I can do is go do a paint job. I get to turn off my brain and just muscle memory. Those are the systems that I have in place for all, like, and that's why I like keeping it consistent with just mainly kitchen cabinet refinishing, because when I do like a kitchen cabinet project, I'm stoked. I get to go listen to whatever audiobook I'm interested in that week, work through it, like feel accomplished. When it's a lot of these tasks of setting stuff up, especially for this one. This next Moose Method class is Moose Method Mobile. So it's halfway across the country it's at the Graco facility. I'm super excited for this, but they're building out an entire kitchen for myself, 12 class attendees, and then a bunch of the previous Moose Method class are coming as well, which I'm really, really excited for. But it's all the logistics of getting that organized so that I can create the best class, the best event that people are not only getting the most value out of it. And I think that's what a lot of this is like, I need to do the work now so that I can basically give everyone that's coming to this event the best experience ever. That's always my goal with these is like so these are like a little more, it's not stressful. It's fun, but it's more, I forget to take care of myself a lot of the times when I'm in like this mode here.
Yeah. How did you, what's the driver, how did you get into it? What made you decide I want to start training? Um, is that something you always were intentional about, or is it something that just one day someone said, you should maybe have a class? How did that come about?
So it came about, I think I think when we met at the Nick Slavik retreat, it had been floating around in my head for about a year and a half of like an idea. Cause I love spending money. Like I don't gamble, but I will invest money in myself to go learn something or try something new or something I'm interested in, because that's a gamble I'll take that is just all reliant on me. I'm investing in myself, which is something that, if I'm putting the odds on anything, I'm gonna put the odds on me and myself
100%.
and wanting to do something.
Absolutely.
So after going to a bunch of like these events and classes, whether it was painting events, real estate events, painting trainings, just business classes, all of this stuff, there was so much out of it that I got that I just like, you don't get if you stay in your own circle, community. I should say a lot of the time you don't get it. I'm sure there are those like great, I live up in New Hampshire. It's like, it's kind of, I have to make time to go see people that are absolutely crushing it with what we're doing. So the class kind of came up from me going to all these events, going to some of the painting trainings, which were great. They're amazing. They taught you how to spray a door perfectly. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. But also at like those events, there's one I had to miss the first day because I was finishing up a job. Went the second day. I showed up the second day, walking around, like introducing myself to people, like seeing what I like missed. And every single person I talked to was like, you're the first person that came up and introduced yourself and like said hi. And this is day 2 of the event. And wow. I was like, what have you guys been doing? Like, yes, okay, you're learning stuff, but do you know how many awesome like businesses and companies are in this room? So I was like, okay, and I started getting ideas of like what I did not want a class or an event to look like. I never really had the intention of doing it, but that's kind of when it started, the idea. So then it was like, okay, go to the Nick Slavik retreat. What do I absolutely love about this? The humans, the community, the like getting in like really close and getting to know people. Okay, well, what if I could combine that with not only teaching someone how to spray doors, because you can spray doors like that's really the easiest part of the project. Like the on-site stuff is the most terrifying. And I started getting just like through the social media and stuff, lots of questions on just like how you do stuff. How do you mask off a box? How do you set up containment? Like what do you do to clean it? So it all kind of just started to stem into me thinking of like, if I could create my ideal event that I think could provide the most value to people, what would that look like? And that's when we started talking again. And I really just like, you got me motivated to really take the dive, because this has been in my head now for like a year and a half. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, so one of our rental properties had just turned over. I'm like, this is a perfect place to do this. Like, there's no stress. I'm going to repaint
Yeah.
everything anyways. And I was like, okay, so what if I had 4 people that wanted to like come for, I think that first one was 3 days, which was way too short. But come and like hang out, like we'll do dinners, we'll do lunches, we'll talk business, and we'll work through this entire kitchen cabinet process. And I know like the common theme for that one was a lot of people wanting to get into the water-based 2K coatings. And I was like, this is perfect because I'm able to bring a bunch of people that have the same interests, the same kind of theme. I mean, sure, there's other things as far as the masking of the boxes that certain people wanted to focus on, sanding, all that. But that's all really just, yeah, another long-winded story. But that's really what got the classes going, was me wanting to help lessen the learning curve and create an awesome time for things that took me many years of losing money and just pulling my hair out and stressing out about, because it's there. I mean, I love like the what the like Idaho painter and stuff was doing. Like when I first started painting, he was the only person that was putting out painting content, how to do stuff. And yes, it's like at that point you're using your better judgment of things that you take and implement into your business, because you're not going to agree with everything that people do or their systems. Just look at a online Facebook group for painting. Use tape. Don't use tape. Fuck you. I hate your tape. No, like, like all this random stuff that is just like, it's not a good environment. So I wanted to be able to help people in a fun way, especially because like throughout this whole process, like the social media has just been growing and just getting really fun, because not only do I get to put on these classes, but I spend so much time answering direct messages. It's been lacking this week a little bit. But usually when people send me a message, I'll get back to you. Usually just send you a voice memo, because that's the easiest way with questions. Because if someone takes the time to reach out or ask something, I'm going to try to give them some help and some advice, just because a lot of the time they're reaching out because they have no one else to ask or go through for this. So it's been really cool to be able to help. And I think that's what kind of drives me for not wanting to really scale my painting business, is I have so much fun helping other people in other businesses. Like some of my favorite messages are like, hey man, like been following you for a while, was like doing painting as like a part-time thing while I did my real thing. Finally just went out on my own, booked out this far, just crushed my first kitchen cabinet project, or did my first, like whatever it is. That's what gets me so unbelievably hyped to keep on focusing on the classes, the training, the content. Just because it's able to, I don't know, if I can make painting look fun and cool because I love doing it, compared to like, oh yeah, he's just a painter. Like it's a great business and a resource, and like you can build an amazing life around it. Which yes, whether you want to grow a painting business that does $200 million a year, like so someone's built a system for that. Like there's every sort of way you could go. If you don't even want to touch a brush, plenty of people just build businesses around that as well. Like I don't know.
That's right.
I just got really hyped.
No, it's just interesting because for me, I first class was our course was, it was actually Stephen, a guy who used to work for me, messaged me last week and says it was 5 years this week that we did the first class, because I asked him to do like just to be there to make sure everything went okay. And I couldn't believe it. And I remember well, it started before that, which was a guy asking me to help him with a sprayer. And we ended up spending a few hours in the workshop, and he said, you know, Jerry, you should teach this, you know. There'd be a lot of guys, I'm sure, love to to come down and learn, and I never really thought about it. And then obviously I went for it and sort of put a post out on the page, the Paintworks page on Facebook, and just said, look, I'm going to start doing courses if anyone's interested, and that's the only way I advertise it. And then a guy Frankie came. He was an older man, and I remember getting into the van that morning and saying to Danielle, I'm shitting bricks here. Uh, I'm nervous, and Danielle just went, "Gee, someone's paid you to do this course with you for your time. Like that is the biggest compliment. Go smash it." And I was just like, let's go. Boom. And then
No,
honestly, I had the best day. I came home so pumped. And that's when I realized my passion for people and teaching and trying to just help. Because I remember it took me back to when I first started out. I had no one. I hadn't a clue, what I was doing. I was learning along the way. And if only I had that person to just bounce off ideas. What do you think of this? Instead of someone saying, yo, you're an asshole, don't paint anymore, give it up, you're useless. The usual, you're not a painter. And it just made me I just realized how much I loved it and how much doing the courses just let a fire up in my belly as such. And then from there, I sort of just, as discussed at the retreat and things, it's sort of been, just trying to make it all work without completely burning out, with the business, with the courses, and then, realizing I don't have to do it the way I thought I had to do it, which was, full-time courses, walk away from the business, leave it to the guy. I could actually just build the academy round the way I want to do it and become more creative with the types of courses I wanted to do, and it was you that sort of pushed the whole have fun with it, enjoy the process and just having fun with it. Well, the attendees and the guys, girls coming to the courses will feel that. And it's true, I think whenever I speak to others about having fun and doing jobs that, make you happy, that you enjoy doing, some of the guys will be like, Jerry, what are you on about? Have fun. And I'm like, well, do you enjoy doing that type of job? No, I hate it. Well, what job do you prefer to do? I prefer spraying, I prefer wallpapering. I says, well, I'll try doing more of them jobs, you know?
that's that's one of the funniest things, and I ask it every time because like I'll go to the local Sherwin-Williams, grab some stuff. There's another local painting company. I'll always when I ask them is like, like what projects you stoked on that you're doing soon or like something like that, and it is like they're just like hyped on or excited to do, and a lot of the times they're not hyped on any of them. They're just like, all right, like, yep, this is a bit which I can understand too. Like, yes, there's that strict, like, this is like just a business. This is exactly what I'm doing. This is just what I'm doing to make money. But it's like for a lot of at least here in the US, I call them and there's a stat from the PCA. It's like the most 95% of, I think the painting industry could even be more, is like 1.5 people. It's like one person and a helper or like something like that. So if that's majority of the painting businesses here, like it's you and somebody else. I hope to God you're doing some projects that are like getting you excited or that you're proud to do, because how is that sustainable? Like, how are you going to build this as a business if it's not something like I've been to jobs I used to take when I was doing exterior work. My dog Moose, which is what actually the company's named after. It's not actually the animal, the moose. It's named after my pup. But I'd have clients that would cook steak for him and bring it out while I was like staining a deck or something. And I'd be like, oh, look, I got something for you. And I was like, oh, steak. She's like, yeah, I cooked it for the dog. Like, if you can align your work with awesome humans that get you also excited and are like stoked and see the value in what you're doing, there's nothing better than that. I mean, there's the whole thing of just like the yes, yeah, I get a. I've actually been wanting to just start a fun little series. I've been talking to one of my buddies, just called "How much does it cost?" Because no matter what, when you're doing it, when I post a video of something, people ask, "How much did that kitchen cabinet job cost? How much does this cost?" And it's really funny because depending on your business model, the price could vary like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
And just that's what I think a lot of people don't see is when they like are looking at specific companies and they're seeing them crushing out all this work. It's like, okay, for their business model, they might be coming in cheaper than you, but what do you have as a single owner operator that a lot of the larger companies don't? It's you. You're showing
Yeah.
up, you're doing the work, you can create that relationship. And it's not, you're not just selling a job, you're selling yourself. Like I've won projects where I've been $7,000 more for a kitchen cabinet project from the other person because I created that relationship and they trusted, like they're trusting you in their most expensive asset most of the time,
Yeah.
their home.
You
But
I remember you saying, I think this is right, you like to work with customers that you'd go for a beer with or have a beer with. Is that it? Is
oh
that what you
yeah,
said before? You
yeah.
know,
So
it's
I've
been able to pick those customers that you can have a beer with afterwards and have the crack.
it's and that I mean that's something that's just kind of has built over time because I stopped like throughout the evolution. I stopped working for builders at I forget a certain point just because it wasn't my business style. But yes, there's certain businesses that are that style. But for me now, I basically have three criterias for a client. It's a okay, is the project profitable? Is it a job I'm stoked to show up and do? And then yeah, that third one and most important is would I have a beer with this client? Because the thing with that too is like I know everyone talks about vetting, like yes, people, oh, vet your contractors, do that. If you're a business, you can vet your clients too. Like you don't have to work with someone just because they're willing to pay you. And you can switch that of like trying to or attracting your ideal client that you're stoked to also work with because they're stoked to work with you instead of just seeing you as a transaction. Like a lot of the clients, um, like I want the clients that will scream my name from the rooftops when I'm done. That's
Yeah.
what my main focus is. And that's from learning from the clients that I sure as hell don't want to work with anymore. But it's very hard to do that when you're starting out or like getting your systems in play because you don't know what kind of client you want or what kind of client you don't want. Like you could have an idea of like, yes, I want to do lead restorations and then realize it sucks. Because yes, it does for me and myself, but there are businesses that crush that. And I think that's just the really fun part about this trade. There's always something to learn. There's always something to implement. You can create whatever business you want with it. If all you want to do is just, I don't know, paint bulkheads, like here in New England, like a bunch of bulkheads that go into the basement, you could honestly start a business doing that, just painting bulkheads, like, or just whatever it is. Like, if there's something that really intrigues you, and like I said, at least I'm sure that and that's the thing. Once again, I haven't been over there. I actually have been over there. I went to Galway and I chatted with some painters over there who are painting some metal rails and like one of the sides. And Justin's like, "What are you doing?" I just like ran over, started talking to them, seeing what product they were using and stuff. But they seemed very happy. Maybe it was just because the 8 days I was there, it was actually sunny and didn't rain once. So I think they're probably just stoked on that.
Oh, it's
But
rained for like 6 months straight, honestly.
God,
It is so
oh
bad. Monday was sunny. I was pumped. I was so excited. I was like, this is it. We're getting a break. And then bang. I mean, it was like a monsoon. Like Wednesday last night on the way home. It was just horrific. And we need some sunshine. But in terms of, I would get a lot of the time guys and girls maybe saying that the kitchen refinishing market over here is saturated. Um, or I would be like, it's not, it's not. But what would you say to someone that is sort of saying, like, what's the point in doing this? There's maybe too many people doing it, that sort of attitude. What would your response be?
I mean, there's always plenty of work all the time. It's just
That's right.
a lot of the times people are trying to do potentially work that doesn't align with their business, if that makes sense. Like someone will be like, oh, like I like am trying to get cabinet jobs, but I haven't even gotten one estimate. And then you can go check out what they're marketing, and it's just all exterior painting or like
That's right.
interior. It's like people want to like what you put out there just is a direct alignment of what people are going to associate with you and your business. And as far as like saturation, like, yes, there's plenty of people doing work, but if you're not only selling the job, like I mentioned earlier, you're selling yourself, you're selling the trust, you're selling like just the point that you're going to take care of them. Like if you can like provide that to a client where they feel completely comfortable with everything that you're doing, they are happy to just also pay a premium for that because they know they're not going to get screwed. Like, and that's the biggest thing is so many people have had awful experiences with contractors that, I mean, like with anything, but like contractors get a bad rep for that
Yeah.
because it's like, oh yeah, like I got a referral from someone from my Aunt Susan that just came and like butchered this entire project. Is like, were they a professional company or was it just someone that just needed some money and thought they could make a quick buck kind of thing?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I get a lot of inquiries just through my masking and containment videos. Just people being like, hey, like I had someone come over to do work and 4 months later we're still cleaning dust out of places.
Yeah.
So it's not just the painting job, it's everything from when you show up to when you wrap up the project. Does everything align with what you told them, what you said as expectations? And if that all aligns, it's a happy client.
Yeah. In
But
terms of obviously you've built up a huge social media presence, but from your experience and what you've learned over the last 6 years or more, um, as someone that's just started a kitchen refinishing business, what would you say to them that have no social media presence or want to start sort of building their own brand? What would be the most important sort of first steps or maybe three things or that you would advise to do because you're very much about authenticity, be yourself, maybe you could go into that a wee bit more, maybe try and help what your sort of viewpoint is on that or from your experience.
film absolutely everything. Document everything from how you like go into a paint store to how you protect a client's home. Just film everything because you don't have to post it. But
Yeah.
if you do want to start to do it, and like not everyone likes being in front of the camera, like I'm going to listen back on this and be like, oh God, I sound so weird because it happens every single time. And I've
Yeah.
watched a ton of every time I edit something, I'm like, Jesus, that's what I sound like. Like you can always just critique yourself. But as far as just marketing like yourself and your brand, the easiest thing you can be is, I know this sounds stupid, but just do like document the way that you do things, you and your business, because yes, everyone is trying to rinse and repeat what works for others, but it
Yeah.
doesn't align with them. So if you're proud about something in your business, highlight that no matter what that is, because that's going to align with a bunch of clients. Like if you're continuously putting stuff out there, what do people do? They hear about someone, they search up their company online, and
Yeah.
if they're seeing stuff that aligns with them as human beings, Like that's a way leg up versus someone that's just putting out continuous generic marketing posts. Which, yes, if you have a certain size business and need to keep a certain amount of people busy, you most certainly have to do that. I've had fun discussions with people that have massive crews that pay so much for marketing, and I'm like, you're paying a ton for marketing. You also have a bunch of young people on your crews that probably love social media and would be
Yeah,
stoked that if, along with their job title of painter, like, yes, they paint, but it's also just as important for them to document the job site. That's creating content for you and your business to be able to put
fantastic.
out. And now, like, someone else is so stoked. Like, okay, cool, whatever you're paying your apprentice or the first time like starting, it's more valuable for them to be actually documenting work than sometimes painting, because that's going to get you way more work down the road. So it's just film everything, highlight what you're proud about in your business, because that's going to align with the clients that you want. And I mean, as you know from a lot of my stuff, I love my tools. Like, I
Yeah,
love to talk about tools that make my life easier. And a lot of those tools create a very clean, tidy job site. And that's
yeah,
what I'm proud of. I love, like, I know it's weird, but like masking is just like arts and crafts. All right. When I show up and I have to like do the floor protection, do the containment, it's great, great content, great marketing. But I also enjoy that because at the end of the day, I'm like, it's a pretty damn cool setup right there. Like, it's
yeah.
always fun and each one's different. As far as like the marketing, like, just if you're starting out too, like I said, film everything. You don't have to post it. If you do post it though, it's instant feedback. Like, if you're consistently posting, you're getting real time just what people are interested in and what they're not in. So then if
Brilliant.
you're posting enough, and let's say a video that is just like you post organically gets more views or more reach or more likes or more comments than your typical post, that's probably a really good indicator, as long as it's not just like following a trend or doing something. If it's like related to your business, that's probably a really good video that if you want to put some paid marketing behind, that's
Yeah.
probably going to perform pretty well. So it's just great instant feedback all the time, and it's free. If you're starting a business and you don't have money, but you got some time, it's the easiest thing to do.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Even I think back to when I had a bigger team, to even, everyone doesn't want their employees on their mobile phone. Nobody wants anybody, being distracted. But the more you build the pride into the job and give them something to actually film and show them, not going to put up some random, dirty brush. They're going to document the progress, the prep, and you're building up that whole, this needs to be better. You get feedback from a photograph. You always do. You take a photograph of your work and you see something's been missed that hasn't been filled. That instant feedback you're talking about. But I think that even me, that it's a pretty good idea. And I think nowadays you have to build in that content time into your price. You have to be building in that. It's marketing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the new business marketing, and you're in control of it. So when you hear, I would have said, even myself, like 3 4 years ago, I don't have time for that. I know I didn't, I was too busy. No, it's a waste of time. Social media, it is a huge tool if it's treated, correctly, used properly. And now, like, I have to, like, I document everything. My guys sort of look at me like, what are you at, gee? Any chance? Just think, just don't worry about it. Just keep her lit and leave me to it, because I'm learning and I'm sort of like, I remember my first voiceover. I think it was about 68 takes. Um, and then getting used to my own voice, and then suddenly then just trying to document the job properly and just let my customers. I spent 10 years and no one sort of seen, who was behind the business. And whereas now you're trying to sort of explain what we're doing, why we're doing it, the levels we go to with prep, the processes, the paints, the primers, the sandpapers, and then suddenly you're getting customers going, Jared, what was that primer you said you were going to use? I've got a water stain in the bathroom or the kitchen. And you're building up that relationship, and then suddenly, do you know what? Would you give me a price to do it yourself? And like it's so powerful. But again, it's sort of being yourself and just being natural. And I think it's easy. You sort of think you have to be a certain way maybe sometimes, or somebody sort of thinks if they get into social, I have to sort of be a wee bit formal and I have to watch I don't swear, or just be real. I think that's the important thing is just be authentic, and just it's easy for us because this is what we do. We love it. This is why I do the live podcast, because it is what it is. What you see is what you get, and it's raw. You're just talking shop. You're talking about what we do every single day, so it's not hard. It's not difficult, and that's why you go off at so many tangents, because an idea will come in or something's going to come into the conversation. You're like, what the hell is he even talking about? And I'm
Yeah.
desperate for it, but I think that's a really good tip, and I think even with that, touching on the likes of the negative comments, the trolls. I think the trolling and things like that. I mean, how do you navigate around negative comments? And maybe you're having a bad day yourself, and then suddenly you'll read something, and it's easy for us all to say, "Yeah, just ignore it and just don't worry about it." But when someone's questioning your existence, you put
Oh,
something up like a really nice spray video, and they're just like, there's a piece of tape missing there, or that wasn't sanded properly, or I would have done it this way, and you're just like,
yeah.
can you not just appreciate the video?
It's,
How do you deal with that, Christian?
so usually, I mean, I try to, okay, if something does go like does take off, I try to respond to mostly everything. But if I open up something, there's like a couple hundred comments or something, and like I will go through, and I have to be in the right state of mind. But any sort of negative like comment, I'll usually just like and be like, hey, like great comment, or thank you, or whatever it is. Just because, or I mean, if it's like really something that people that are doing well in life and in business and are happy don't comment negative things. It's
No.
the people that are struggling in some way that, okay, they see you doing something, they haven't got an estimate request in a couple weeks, their job's ending, they don't know what they're going to do next, or they're just a curmudgeon, they're just like a grumpy person. Like there are the people like that. That's just like no matter what, like they're always the victim, that nothing's ever working out for them, stuff like
Hurt
that. So it's
people
like,
hurt.
yeah, like it's just like they're trying to, I don't know, because they don't feel great, are trying to bring you down. Which, yes, like you said earlier, if I'm exhausted or something, I'll avoid opening up my phone, because I know as soon as I open one of the platforms, someone's going to be telling me to go fuck my own face or something like that. Like it's wild what people like comment, but it's just like it is something that's like, yes, at first, I mean, sure, it is wild. You have to like hold on one second. I don't know what just happened, but my iPad here just gave me a weird notification. Sorry about that. But so yeah, it really is just kind of meeting them with kindness, because it does, I don't know, it sometimes I do want to, like, I'll do that whole thing where it's like I'll type something out and then I'll delete it,
Yeah.
because it's like the like whole like writing a letter and like burning it or something. Like, yes, you do have to get it out, but I'm never gonna put that back out there, because that's not what I want to attract to my page. Like, sure, it comes in waves, and I mean waves, but no matter what you do, someone's gonna do something differently. That doesn't mean it's not right. It
That's
just
true.
doesn't mean it's like it's not what's best, it's what works best for you. So like with these comments and stuff, like yes, I try to meet them with kindness. Sometimes I think I've been sassy on like maybe one or two posts, but it hasn't even been responding to like my stuff. Like I get tagged in a good amount of stuff, and someone tagged me in something. They're proud of a kitchen cabinet project they just completed, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, man! Like it looks amazing." And then I was scrolling down a little bit, and it was just you kind of see the same people commenting on certain
That's true.
posts and stuff like that. And someone who should, in my opinion, they're at a very, very high level of finishing. Like they are very good. But they're now commenting on other people's posts, telling them like, oh, well, you're doing it wrong. That looks like shit. It's like, dude, you have enough experience to, instead of like just saying you're doing it wrong, like help out. So that's when I actually commented, just being like, oh, like with it, we have, I think there are enough grumpy finishers and painters out there. Like with the knowledge you have, like why not help? And then like he got defensive, and then it was just like I don't know, but still tried to meet it with kindness. It just bothers me when there's stuff that people and a lot of people comment this stuff from their business page. Like talk about an advantage that you have in painting is like if you're just a decent good human, like you can go a lot further because there's a bunch of just wild people out there.
I think, yeah, I think it's easier to just help, and it's easier to just scroll on. If you wanna help somebody, help them. If you don't like something, you just move on, you know?
No,
Um, but have you tried the new Grego Quick Shot?
I have. I have
It
indeed.
is it any good? It's not here yet. I don't think it's
It,
landed yet.
it hasn't been released yet. I think potentially coming up at some point soon. But it is so everything that you would say is like an issue with the quick shot. Like they really did take all of the advice, not just from myself, but from all the other like painters out there, and tweaked it. So there's a lot more as far as like, okay, when you're using the quick shot and spraying, you're always looking at the setting because it's right next to your hand, which is very
Yeah,
easy to like do. So they moved that. They actually put a filter in the machine.
I've seen that.
So now you actually have a filter that you can clean and swap out. It's a quieter machine. It's got a stronger pump, and a nice like quick flush system. So it is like, I mean, I love that little thing. It's great for needing to mix up a small amount of product, reshoot a door, or you can reshoot like or shoot a entire kitchen or kitchen island with it. Like it is a very, very awesome machine, and that's one of the main reasons. Like I do love Graco. Like all
Yeah.
the stupid little things that bother us as professionals, the airless gun spitting. Okay, cool. Let's design an electric one that doesn't spit. That's great. Now I can pull it. Like if I accidentally like let go of the trigger, like I'm not shooting a fat glob of something right on what I finished. Like it's
Yeah, no, I had two, and unfortunately, they're both broken down on me, and I'm debating whether to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to get two new pumps, but they got some serious working. They are awesome wee machines, but I had them 4 years, and I think I just burnt them out, to be honest with you. Um,
I mean, it is a small machine with a small
yeah,
pump. Like it's not gonna last nearly as
no.
long as the other ones, which is I saw so many people hating on it, but at the same time, I also saw the projects and they're doing like massive jobs with it. It's like this is
Yeah.
a baby little pump. This is meant for certain things.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
I loved it. I loved it. I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, I'll eventually get one. I'll have to get these two sorted. But um, three tips for someone who's getting into airless spraying. You're a big airless man. So have you 3 tips you could offer somebody in terms of if they're learning airless or just getting into it, picking up a new Graco? What would be 3 key things maybe that would help them get a better finish, better results? Any?
So definitely swap your filters. They come with stock filters, which I believe 60 mesh. So you're going to want to at least bump those up to 100, which are the blue filters. That is key because if you're trying to get a fine finish with a small orifice tip, like, yes, obviously you strain the product before you put it in the sprayer, but you want those fine finish mesh filters to be able to collect so your tip's not clogging every second and you're not shooting it out. That's extremely frustrating. The next would definitely be get a variety of just small fine finish tips. My go-to is usually a 308. I usually spray both my primers and top coats with that, but depending on the project, could go to a 310 or a 408. Like the environment isn't the same. And I guess I'll keep this just to the airless. I was going to dive into just spraying techniques that I think are important as well. But with the airless, yes, definitely swapping the machine filters, doing the fine finish tips. And then I think one of the biggest ones too is tracking your pressure with what product you're spraying. If you're switching products a lot, and I know that's not specifically for an airless, like it doesn't have to do with the machine, but like tracking the pressure and like knowing how certain things spray, like certain coatings is huge, because a lot of people just throw it in and they'll turn it to something, start spraying or dial it up, don't keep track of that, and then next time they go to spray, like, which that can tell you a lot what pressure you have to spray something at in a, like, your house, a shop, can tell you a lot, because as we all know, different temperatures products are more, like, less viscosity or thicker or anything like that. Like it can be very frustrating when you go spray one product one day and it sprays one way, and then you spray it the next and it's just completely different. I guess with the specific airless, I love the power shot attachment for that. Do you guys have that over there?
Yeah, I mean, I only used it when I was doing the class, with you. I haven't got one myself, but it was a real tasty piece of kit, really tasty, and yeah, it's no, I've got quite a few wee bits and pieces, but I haven't got the power shot yet. Um, no, it's a game changer, and I think for me, I was wondering, is that really do I need to get that for doing kitchens? Because to get that nice soft fan, that nice pressure, but and then I
It's
was like,
basically just a quick shot that you can attach to any airless
yeah,
spray. And that's
yeah,
what's like cool. Like whether you have like a Wagner, or do you guys even have Titan over there, or is it just Wagner? Is Titan
yeah.
just over
Actually,
here? That's a US base.
yeah, no. I was actually talking to a guy who used to work for me. Last night I think he had a Titan 440, and it broke on him. Broke down. So he was like, "What am I gonna
That's
do?" I was
I will say that's
surprised.
surprising. I
Yeah,
do love that machine. That was the first sprayer I ever bought. The Titan
yeah,
440 thing lasted forever. It's a freaking workhorse, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, Jimmy, he put it to work. It was nonstop, nonstop every day. So, but in terms of sprayers, what would be your go-to for doing your kitchens? What are you using for your kitchens, or is it a
So
mix?
I mean, at this point, I'm using basically strictly the Graco 490 XT with the power shot attachment. And before that, the GX19 was my go-to. It's a small, compact machine that I could just pour it into the hopper and go. I do love the 490 XT just because it is a low torque like motor, so it's
Yeah.
extremely quiet.
Yeah.
It's extremely powerful, and it's just one of those things that I feel like spraying is really effortless with it. Like between
Yeah.
the machine and the power shot gun on that, like when I usually have my headphones in when I'm spraying, and like even when I have my headphones in, I can still usually hear the machine or my the spraying the gun, that kind of stuff. The first time I started using that, I was like, I had to take it off because I was like, is there no pressure? Is like, did I run out of product? Is there something clogging? And it's no, it's just like, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful sounding machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, for me, I am still using HVLP to spray the kitchens. Obviously, just sort of playing about with the products and just trying to get a nice sort of fan and trying to get a nice get nice set. And I think it's just because I've been used to spraying kitchens HVLP for years, so it's sort of just at that transition. But I'm gonna try and get into it and try and sort of lock in a real nice setup for doing that. If some new products arrive today to try out and different things, and just to sort of, I like playing about with different products, learning. Some of the products I've been using aren't really spraying nice out of the airless. So this is just too much product. So it's just not just on the verticals and things like that there. So I'm like, dropping down. I was thinking maybe a smaller tip, maybe going down to 206 or something like that. But then it's sort of just trying to make it work instead of having to thin it up too much, or I don't know. I'll have to sort of keep playing with it.
But I think it also comes down to just, I mean, yeah, like you said, what you're used to. Because for so long you had to use the HVLP, and I mean, that's what I love. I look at airless as like they have done so many awesome things to make it so you can get a beautiful factory finish with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they came out with, I think, the FFLP tips around 2017. So the fine finish, low pressure. They have like, yes, the Titan and Wagner can like have the fine finish tips, which I do believe like they should tweak a little bit, because when those tips were designed, they were built for solvent based products. Like those tips have been around for a very long time, and they're initially built for a very low viscosity product. But with that, it's like whether it's an airless HVLP, air assisted airless, what's nice about the HVLP and the air assisted airless is you can adjust it so you're able to take your time. Like it's very user friendly, so you can customize it a lot more for how you spray versus an airless. Yes, you have the tip and you have the fluid pressure. Once you pull that trigger, you just have to move, versus like with the HVLP, you can dial it in. You can go a little slower if you want.
Yeah.
Like take your time. If there's an area that's like prone to drips or like overlaps, like you can really hone that in with the HVLP and the airless, or sorry, the HVLP and the air assisted airless versus just an airless sprayer. Like it allows you more options, which I love about it. Just the reason I like using the airless for the most part is because for me, talking to people and people wanting to get into more like fine finishes, it is a phenomenal like thing that's not going to break the bank. That if you want to spend the time dialing it in and getting used to how you need to spray, like I always say, I have a spraying playlist that I just put on repeat whenever I need to spray boxes, because I know that I'm going to be moving at a certain pace, which creates the results I'm looking for, versus like if I stagger with the airless and just lay it on heavy, like that's the day. Like for you to do that with the HVLP or even an air assist airless, like you kind of have to really stop for a second and just
yeah. No, when you're saying about the playlist, the tunes, like when I'm doing the courses, my first thing is right. You need to be loosey goosey. You need to be let's go, and then you got to do the dance. If you're a good dancer, it helps.
Body
And,
mechanics.
that rhythm, and it was funny because at the last event, Pat was an older gentleman, and the old pat dance, and he was giving it rice and he was spraying away, and I was loving it. So it was, but you definitely there's nothing better than getting the tunes on, especially in like a huge commercial project, and getting that sprayer out, getting that airless, and just listening to it bang, pumping away and going for it. But um, so I was talking to you last night, obviously, about the spray plastering. You haven't got the spray plastering machine out yet, no?
Nope, nope, not yet. That will be coming, which I'm very excited for because and I think it's so funny how the world works that way. Which it's like, okay, I've always just rolled that on and skim coated it. I like don't really do like that's the one I've been doing it on. I told you before. That's my rental property. I'm trying to get that finished so we can get that rented back out. Has been my testing grounds for products for the past year.
Yeah.
So tapes, fillers, paints, primers, like I have just been using that as a real life testing ground, which has been amazing. There have been stuff where it's like, okay, let's actually really test like how these tapes. I have everything from the high adhesive masking all the way to the delicate surface and everything in between that have been on hardwood floors over in that unit because yes, they each have like maybe a 3-day clean, 7-day clean, 90-day clean pull, but I'm able to put it over there because I plan on redoing those floors anyways. So
Yeah.
I actually just pulled those. Those were down for I think I don't know 8 months. Like it's really cool to be able to do like a prolonged testing
Yeah.
of stuff in different ways because so many people have a bad experience with something once and they're like, oh, okay, I'm never using that again. Versus if I have a bad experience with it, I want to be like, why did this happen? What
Yeah.
happened with it? But yeah, back to I'm really excited because I have to skim coat that entire place. So I'm going to just have some fun, spray some muds, use them skimming blades because those are old,
Yeah.
like 19. Well, I should say old for here, but like 1910 horsehair plaster walls that have just been coated and coated and coated some more. So the whole goal is to make that place just look immaculate.
Yeah.
Everyone jokes about the landlord special of just slapping coats of paint on. I'm calling this one like the landlord special. Like it's going to be
Well,
like top tier.
I'm looking forward to some videos, that's for sure. What was I gonna say? So we met at Nick Slavik's retreat. I'd never ever done anything like that before. It's actually Danielle booked it. It's just like, well, sorry, Danielle put the application in, or the apply, and you have to do this. That's what she says. She said, this is a bit of you, getting out, meeting people, learning, growth, you name it. I love all that, you see. And yeah, that was it. And then Nick invited me over, and it was probably one of the most amazing experiences still, in terms of um throwing yourself into the, I don't know, into the most oh, what I always say, uncomfortable situations ever.
Mhm.
Um, just because I'd never done anything like that before. Like I just work, come home, see the girls, work, come home, see the girls. There's nothing like that over here. Now there's some events over in England and different things, but in the island of Ireland and Northern Ireland and things, there's nothing in terms of like expos, community events, and to go over to that and be surrounded by, I think there's about 18 other sort of people within the industry, and you talk about, you know, high performance, sort of get you fired up, but also sort of strip you down to your most vulnerable state.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
like it was just incredible. But the reason why I'm talking about it is, how important do you think it is to get out and meet others within the industry? Is it something you always sort of thought, yeah, like that, or is that recent for you as well? And why, how did your first event come about, and what was the sort of shift in terms of, I really enjoyed that, even though I'd never done anything like that before, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, for me personally, it's funny. My wife and business partner, Jess and I, we started going to, before even painting events, we started going to like real estate events, like real estate investing and stuff like that. And that was kind of I should say the catalyst to what really sparked into a lot of these like wanting to go to more events. Because
Yeah.
if you go to something, which I mean, I'm sure you've heard the saying, it's like I want to be the dumbest person in the room in every room I'm in kind of thing. Like if
Yeah.
you start to go to these events and really like get out of your comfort. I love talking to people, so it's not really out of my comfort zone for me. But for my wife Jess, it is sometimes. Like she likes to say I'm her built-in friend maker. But with like that, going to these events, you get to not only, because you see stuff, you see people, how like these businesses online or ways people are doing things, but actually going to these events and talking to people that are actually doing this stuff, and not only hearing about what they're doing, but they're happy and stoked to tell you how they're doing it if you
Yeah.
have questions. Like no matter what, you go to these, and I will say there's good events and there's bad events,
Yeah.
but what I've noticed is it doesn't matter. You just continue going to these events, investing in yourself, and meeting these people, because you can go to 5 events that, yeah, maybe you get like something a little bit out of, but then you go to something that completely changes your life and your business, like your trajectory. And whether you get something out of the actual event, like the education, the class, a lot of the times it's just the people in the rooms. Like it's
Yeah.
the people that like you had no idea that you wanted to meet, and now you're very stoked to meet. So there's so many different calibers of events. Like there's the free events, there's like low ticket events, there's the more expensive ones. So it's like, take your time, go to, maybe if you've never been to one, go to a free event. Then the next one, like you're going to meet a lot of cool people, but then go to like invest in yourself. Like I said, the best thing you can do is just always invest in yourself and knowledge and learning, because if everything gets taken away from you, at least you still got that. And you can probably build it back a lot faster. So then you just like kind of start to meet. I mean, I've met some of my best friends that I have to this day at random events that I went to, that are also just extremely helpful if I have a question in business. I don't think there's one thing that I could possibly run into in this painting trade, as far as an issue with whatever coating it is, whatever surface it is. I'm sure if I opened up my phone, I could make a couple calls and get that question answered, instead of me trying to rack my brain and solve it myself. Like people have already gone through your pain points. And the more you go out to these events and put yourself out there and meet these people, not only are you going to make good friends, but your business is going to change exponentially, because now you have the network. And I mean, I know everyone calls it networking. I just like to call it making friends, because it really is just one of those things. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. You've just gone through kind of, you get broken down, whether it's one of those events and then built back up, because there are those, or there are the ones that it's like, for instance, that's kind of when we were talking earlier about like what designed like the Moose Method classes. It was going to a lot of these events and just figuring out what I loved about them and what I hated about them, and just combining everything I loved into one thing, and being able to, it was all just theory. Like doing all of the stuff that you go to is just like I'm trying to, I guess the whole point of the thing is, yes, get to the events it's going to be awkward at your first one, especially if you don't know anybody. But if it's a trade or industry event, you can go not knowing anyone, talk to anyone there, and guess what? They do exactly what you do. There is common ground there. Like, you don't have to be like, okay, like, let me try to find something. Like, everyone at a painting event has a painting business. You can talk that all day with them. It's not like, oh, who am I going to talk to or what am I going to say? It's like, yep, there's a common ground. Hey, man, where are you from? What's your painting business? Like, what do you like to do? Like, but it's really funny because for a long time, the whole like going to these things, and I mean, the events have changed over the years so much too. It's gone from like potentially just like dick swinging contest to actually people wanting to help. Like, it's my first PCA event ever. I swear to God, the second person that I talked to was like, what's your top line revenue? How many people do you have in your crew? Like, all this stuff. And I mean, for me, sure, like if I wasn't comfortable with my business and how I wanted to do it, like that could be very off-putting.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
but then again, it's like, it's fun too, because with people like that, you can also like turn the table on. They're doing that. It's like, oh, it's just me. It's like, yeah, I focus on my painting business, making content. Like last month I got like 40 million views or something like that. It's like, it's just like throw like another number back at them. Like, you can mess around, but it's like, yes, that's a small portion of the people that you're going to meet at these events. And it's funny too, because now that I think back on it, like, it could have been one of his first events, and he didn't know how to talk to people. So he just maybe wanted to be like, oh, like, what's your top line revenue? Like, how many people do you have? Like, kind of that, which it's depending on the mood you're in. Like, yes, you think back on this stuff. I'm like, I mean, I don't think that was the direction that he was going conversation wise. It was, but it's funny. So
it's funny because like I got a call on Monday from a painter, and he rang me up. He says, "Hi, Jared. I hope you don't mind me ringing. I just wanted your advice. You don't know me. My name's," and I was like, "Yeah, far away. How can I help?" And well, look, I'm thinking about doing this, and just wanted, what do you think? And I was just like, I ended up speaking for about an hour and a half. It was like and I was working away, and it was just a really good conversation. He says, I'm really glad I gave you a call. I says, give me a call anytime. I says, because I've got the earphones in anyway. I'm listening to something. And just like that. And if he hadn't made that call, and it's the same as me, like I call and text and message painters all the time, but it's just for that person that maybe is in their own working away, maybe coming across a bit of a difficulty or stuck, or maybe doesn't know what to do, ring somebody, reach out, and ask what can go wrong. They can say no, ring somebody else.
I don't think there's many worse feelings as when you're on a project and something's going wrong and you're trying to fix it and you don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And you're trying everything within your power, whether it's like looking stuff up, going to forums, and like there's nothing on it. Like there was what was it? This was, I'm trying to think. I don't, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was doing a kitchen island, and it was a chocolate brown color. And I've used this product before in many different colors, never had issues with it. And it was so weird. I was spraying this island the way I always do. I kept I love to, when I'm spraying too, this is a quick little tip. If you keep track of the humidity, the temperature, all of that stuff while you're spraying, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and headache, because if you can create the same environment that creates the same results every single time, whether that's bringing in heaters, dehumidifiers, whatever it is, you are able to then really create the predictable results there. So I was doing everything that I'd done to get the doors, drawers, everything looking right. I could not get this product to hang to save my life. And what it ended up being was where I got the product from was using a different pigment that, yes, technically it turned the color, but it wasn't really meant for that product. And I mean, I guess it's fine like 80% of the time, but the other 20, it just goes so awful. And I mean, I was trying to wrap up this project. I didn't have time to order more or get it because I don't get it locally. But I went through my contacts. I called my buddy Zach Kenny. I called my buddy, actually another Zach, and was talking with them. And they gave me so much advice to how to combat this, because what was happening is it had pigment overload. So I was spraying and the color was just separating and it would be smooth, but it would look like a hang. So it was super, super weird, something I had never run into before. And it was like, okay, I brought my paint shaker to the job site. I beat the crap out of this product for probably about 45 minutes. I put it in my airless, or not my airless. I actually switched to an HVLP, and then I went through, and what I had to do was basically shoot it with the HVLP, and then go back over that one panel, not actually pulling the trigger all the way down, but just kicking out air to get it to tack up a tiny little bit, so that didn't happen, and then go on to like you just did it section by section. But it's like, I'm not sure whether I would have been able to like get that project done if it wasn't for those guys. Like, yep, I could have ordered stuff, could have like told the client like, hey, I know I told this I'd be done before you got back from vacation, but it like without those resources and their combined knowledge of just like, okay, yep, stuff like that has happened to me in the past. These are a few things I did to combat that. Like, that is like invaluable information, because until you run into it, you don't know. But like by going and meeting these people and talking and just making friends, yeah, if you run into a shitty issue, there's someone that has your back, because this trade is so isolating. Like if you don't make it the effort to go out and meet other people that love doing exactly what you do, or at least even if you don't love it, at least in the same business. And guess what? Like the first 7 years I did this, it was always just painting until I figured out what I really wanted to do in my big boy job, as I was trying to pursuing professional snowboarding and all that fun stuff. But it's wild that like something that I was just doing as like to make money, we'd bust ass to exteriors all summer. Then my partner would travel and I'd just snowboard and compete and film and do all that. But something that was just like, hey, we both didn't have jobs one summer, is what stemmed all of this. And I could not be happier or more stoked to like be in this trade and be doing what I'm doing, because and not only that, but help others like get better. Like there's still so much for me to learn. And I know I'm really, really good at what I do. Like, I know I'm good at it. And just because I've taken the time, I've gotten the edge, like I've literally educated myself with so many mess ups and so many just like mistakes over the years, but it wasn't looked at as mistakes. It was just looked at as learning experiences. I mean, mind you, when I was snowboarding and skateboarding, like I would eat shit hundreds of times to land a trick once. And each time it's like, okay, yep, my shoulder wasn't there. My feet was a little off. That's why I just caught my edge and landed on my face. But it's like, I used to do that for fun. I used to like literally chance like breaking my bones for fun, or even just, you know, some of the shit I did was just like, yep, if I catch a wrong edge, I could land on my head and actually die here. So when I look at this trade and what all the options and stuff are now, like, this isn't going to kill me. This is just fun. Okay, what am I losing? Some time and some money. Cool. What can I do to prevent that? I can actually take the time to mess around with these products, really dial it in, so I have the most confidence going into whichever project I want, like knowing that I can get this done. And sure, you run into those weird things, but that's what the community, excuse me, the network's for. Also, I think about 30, maybe a little over 30 minutes ago, just because I knew I was popping on, I did get some whiskey here that I just poured my glass a little bit of that I've been sipping in a celebration of just, chatting with the Irish bloke.
100%, 100%. So, the next Moose Method class is in Minnesota at the Graco factory. Isn't that right? So,
Yes.
what date's that on? Is that
So that is the class. The hands-on training is May 28th through the 30th.
awesome?
Everyone is flying in so far the Wednesday before, because as you know, with these events, before we work next to each other for 3 days, I love to have a welcoming dinner and stuff like that. So we're all going to be hanging out, getting to know each other before we go into the 3-day immersive hands-on training, which I could not be more stoked for. This class is 12 people max. In previous classes, just because I've been doing them in kitchens and clients' homes, I've been able to only do 5 people. But with this one and Graco building out an entire kitchen for this, we'll be able to have 12 people. So right now there's 7 spots filled, and I just did the soft announcement a little earlier this week, and I've just been going through all the applicants. At some point I'll do a post on it, but I always like to, before I fully announce it, make sure that everyone that had reached out about a class in the past gets a touch point, a phone call, a text, just letting them know. Usually hop on the phone, learn about them and their business and how this class can help. But I am very excited for this, because that's kind of been I shouldn't say the cap. I'm still keeping these fully immersive week-long Moose Method classes going. But by being able to do the Moose Method mobile classes now, it just it allows me to eliminate one of the barriers to entry, which is flying across the country, or for you, across the ocean. It's like
I was just about to
going
ask.
to them, having these and just being able to. But I mean, I saw people flying in from all over the country for that one too. But it really is just being able to help as many businesses as possible, because after this class, those are 12 businesses that are going to have, I should say, just not businesses, but humans that now have the confidence to be able to go back to their market and start taking on these projects, which is just gets me so hyped.
I was just about to say, how mobile are you gonna be? Are we talking transatlantic or just all over the US?
Where, you know what? I'm hopping on a ship. I'll be over there.
Can we get a Moose Method class over here? Can we get something fired up for the crack? Maybe at some point we'll get a big gathering and we'll just have lots of fun. Huh?
I know we've chatted with this in the past. I think what we have to do is just get Jess and Danielle on a call, and we just lock something in, because I would be so stoked to come over there and do a class, like a combined class there. I think it would be an absolute amazing experience, and
absolutely.
That would be top notch. So yeah, Moose Method mobile,
global,
Moose Method, yes, the Moose Method global. There we go.
Love it. So, what is this year? Have you any big goals? What's the what are you, apart from, you've got obviously the big class? Is it gonna be more sort of week-long Moose Method classes at home in around that area? Have you any other big plans coming up for Moose Method, or even Moose Painting?
So I should say the big goals this year are very class focused, in the education focused realm. Like I said, the painting business has been exactly the way I've wanted it for about 3 years now. So that is a perfect system for me. That's something that I haven't put much thought and effort into until something hits where I want to change it. The goal for that is exactly the same, just continuously working with awesome clients that want to, and not only want, but are happy to pay for the value I'm providing. The class goals is this first Moose Method Mobile was a big goal that I had on the docket for this year.
Brilliant.
Being able to figure out how to logistically and strategically do these in other places. I still have and the thing is right now I have a few actual locations as well for full in kitchen classes, like in clients' homes that are few locations that are all across the country as well.
Brilliant.
Those are still going to be in the works. But this Moose Method Mobile class was definitely a big goal with this. As far as that goes, and kind of like the classes, the education, and the media, what's really, really cool too is I'm doing some trainings for not only people that are working in the trade, but some like higher ups at companies as well, like the companies that create these products, design them, put them out there, to give them more knowledge base on how their end user, the professionals, are using this stuff. So they have more ideas on how to strategically, or I shouldn't say strategically, but how to better these products for us at the end of the day, which I'm very, very proud and stoked about too. Just being able to like not only help the businesses like me, but being able to actually educate the companies that are making these products, because there's such a long feedback loop for a lot of these companies. Like you got to think about it as far as like, yes, they make great products, they go out to stores, for something to really be the matter or not work right, like that's going to start with us, then that will go to a rep or the paint store. And then it really only takes like from the paint stores, like the long chain to then the sales rep to then back to the people that actually like make the decisions for a lot of this stuff. So it's cool to be able to really help that with a lot of the products that I just love and use every single day, and help tweak them. And yeah,
it's a great opportunity. So is there anything you feel we haven't touched on or you like to add? I know I've taken up just over 2 hours of your time, and it's incredible to have you on. But I know, Riley, we could go on for another couple of hours, but is there anything you feel maybe you want to touch on? Maybe I haven't, but we haven't discussed. Is there anything you want to feel you want to add before we leave?
I mean, honestly, we've just talked about so much. If people are still listening and you're interested in, just getting into kitchen cabinet refinishing, whether you're in the States or over the pond in Ireland, you have two amazing people to reach out to. So that's kind of just we're always down to help, talk shop. Like I said, after this, I've been seeing a few messages come in. So I've just been like, all right, after this, I'm going to go back to doing my puzzle, responding to some comments, start planning out tomorrow and some of the stuff I got to do over the weekends. I mean, I've just been, I'm just stoked to do this, man. Stoked to chat.
No, I really appreciate it. And your passion shines through, and it's great because I love what I do. I love painting. I'm still on the tools as well, and I love doing the courses and meeting new people and sort of building that community. So I think if it encourages somebody else to get involved and to pick up a phone or send a message or reach out, it's worthwhile. Maybe before we go, if anyone's any questions, to fire them on. But I think we will maybe draw this to an end and let you have the rest of your day back. I mean, I would love to keep chatting, but I really do appreciate your time. And hopefully I will see you soon at some point, Christian, in the near future. I'd love to get over to another event or something. I'll miss the one in Minnesota, but I do appreciate everything. I appreciate everything you've done for me, people don't realize, you know, you're literally, if there's something up or I've got a question or I'm sort of querying something, you've always been there to help and reach out. And what you see is what you get, and that is a fact. So I really do appreciate it sincerely. And
All the
on that
rambling and
note,
all, everything.
so on that one, listen, thanks everybody who's been watching. I really appreciate your time too. And if you've maybe missed it, you can catch up again on YouTube and Spotify. And Moose Painting is everywhere. He's on every single outlet, social media channel, you name it. So you've seen his stuff, there's no doubt about it. And thank you again.
My pleasure. And if there's anyone that's like, yeah, it's still on here, if you have any questions, just shoot me a DM. Like I said, I usually am just on top of it. I would recommend usually through Instagram. That's my main platform that I'm usually most active on, as far as like the stories, responding to comments. Some of the other ones I do get to, but the Instagram is definitely the best way to get in touch with me. If you ever want to shoot the shit, talk shop, let me know. Always down.
Keep her lit. Listen, thank you everybody. Speak soon, and I'll see you on the next one.
You.